Okay, let me share the screen. So any issues, any doubts in the last class? Let me give you the recording permissions for all of you. Please raise your hands, those who joined from laptop.
Sir, last year in the about service accounts, inbuilt service account, customer service account.
Yes.
Yeah. Just little bit clarity.
Sure. I'll
Inbuilt
explain.
service account
Sure, I'll explain. Okay. Let me give you recording permissions for all of you. Okay, then we'll start. Right. Okay, so you can record the sessions. In case if anyone is missing, let me know. Okay, I'm going to give you the recording permissions again. Once again. Okay, so Sunil. Okay, so it's difficult to show the whole concept again. Okay, I'm going to provide the recordings, right? So just go through those recordings. See, one small topic, small doubts, that's fine. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so complete server configuration, again it is difficult. Okay, so again go with the recordings. I'm giving you the recording permissions. You can record the session. If you're unable to record the session, I'm going to upload the same session in the YouTube, so you can go through those YouTube sessions. Okay, so it will be helpful for you. If we keep on discussing multiple topics again and again, the course duration will go to through 2 months, 3 months and all. Okay, Sunil, just go through the recording. If you have any questions, you can ping me and you can call me and you can ask me. Okay, first go through those recordings. Right. Okay, just a minute, guys. Right. So let me start the Windows machine. So in the last class, we have discussed about the Windows server, right? We have configured the Windows server. Then we have installed the .NET framework. Then after installing .NET framework, what we did is we just installed the SQL server, right? So this is our machine. Let me go to the machine bash 30. No, not this one. Where is the machine name? Bash 39. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So bash 39. So we have configured bash 39 and we just created it and we just installed Windows operating system. Then we did some remote configuration settings. Then after connecting to the server remotely, then we have installed .NET framework. Then we have installed SQL Server installation. So any doubts in the SQL Server installation? Just a minute. So might be you have some issues with the service account. What is the service account? How we are going to use the service account? In which location? In how to change the service account? Okay, after installation, how to change the service account? So simple example is service account will act as a assistant. Okay, assistant to the SQL server. As a server, going to the data and to store the data. Storing means it will write an account can not is on behalf of SQL server. The service account will enter into the folder and it is going to read the data from the disks. Okay, so on behalf of not only SQL server, in Windows machine, every software will have its own service accounts. While installing those softwares, usually don't ask to choose the service accounts. Why? Because Windows server or Windows software, your operating system by default, it will choose one default service accounts. So how many default service accounts we have in the SQL Server? Yeah, my voice is clear. Anyone facing any issues with my voice?
Default services.
Yeah. Any issues with my audio? Please confirm.
No, sir.
Okay. So
Bandwidth problem maybe. Your voice is fine.
okay, that's fine. Okay, in case if you are facing difficulties in my audio, okay, just check with your internet and reconnect again if it is continuously breaking. Okay. Right, fine. Okay. So on behalf of SQL Server, your service account is going to read the data from the disk. On behalf of SQL Server, your service account is going to write the data to the disk. Okay, in case if it wants to read the data to the disk, write the data from the disk, means write the data to the disk and read the data from the disk. First of all, it has to enter into the drives, right? Disks means what? Drives. Who can enter into the drives? Don't think all persons can enter into the drives. Don't think all persons can write the data to the disks. Okay, depends upon their permissions. They only can write the data. They only can read the data. They only can enter into the drives or folders. They only can access the drives or folders. Okay, so on behalf of the SQL Server, your service account will read the data and write the data. Right? Clear? For every software will have service accounts, but it won't ask you to choose the service accounts while installing those softwares. Why? Because Windows operating system will choose default service accounts for their softwares. We have example, perfect example is antivirus. What antivirus is going to do? It is going to scan all the folders, all the drives. Okay, it is going to mark as virus in case if any file is affected with virus. Then finally, what is going to tell? It will generate a report and it will show you the report. These are the files affected by the virus and these are the virus files. Can I remove it or delete it? So it will ask us our permission. Then if we click yes, it is going to delete all the virus files. Deleting means what? Write operation. Scanning means what? Read operation. Who is going to read and write the data on behalf of the antivirus software? Antivirus service account is going to read all the data, right? So in case if it has to read the data from different folders and from different drives, it has to first log into the drives. Who can log into the drives? If you have permissions, then only you can log into the drives. Okay, so only a user account can log into the folders. That user account is called service account. A service cannot be logged in inside the folder, or service cannot read the data from the drive, or service cannot write the data to the drives. On behalf of any service, service accounts will help you to read and write the data. Is it clear? Did you got the clarity what service account will do now? On behalf of SQL Server, your service account is going to write the data to the disk and read the data from the disk. This is the main thing the service account is going to do. Clear, right? So we have two types of service accounts, default and customized service account. So I told you, right, we have three types of, like in the default service accounts, we have three types of service accounts. Can anyone tell me?
Local service.
Local service.
Network service.
Very good. Local system and network service. Okay, so in these three service accounts, which one is high priority service account? There are priority also.
Local system.
Local system is the highest priority service account. So for important softwares like antivirus, SQL Server softwares, okay, Windows Server usually choose local system. Depends upon the priority, it will either choose local system, local service, network service. It will be done internally by the SQL server, it will be done internally by the Windows Server. Nothing to worry about these things. But the problem is, I gave you an example. The problem is, imagine if you are staying in a PG, one maid is coming to you and she is completing, one assistant is there for you. Okay. You're staying in a separate room. One assistant is there or maid is there. So she is daily coming and she is completing the work in half an hour, like cleaning utensils, cleaning the room, everything. She is completing the work in half an hour and she is going. Later, one more person is added to the room. right? Now the utensils also increased and the work is also increased. Earlier she used to complete the same work in 30 minutes. Now she is taking 15 more minutes to clean the house and all. So now she is completing the work in 45 minutes. One more person is added into the room. 3 people came, but the only one maid is there. Okay. Now she used to complete the work in 1 hour. One more added, 1.5 hour. One more added. Like if people are increasing, the time to clean the house utensils and all will be increased, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because people are increasing, but only one maid is there. The workload will be increased on the maid, right? So in the same way, we will have lot of software installed in the machines. All the softwares will run based on these 3 service accounts only. Means hundreds of softwares or services are there, but only 3 assistants are there. You can imagine how much workload will be there on these 3 assistants. On behalf of all the services, only these 3 service accounts has to read the data, write the data. So obviously what will happen? The workload will be increased on the service accounts. If workload increased, we have to wait to process the data. Means we are going to get performance issues. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to, for my SQL server, I am going to recruit separate assistant called customized service account. For my SQL server, I am going to recruit a separate service account. He is my customized service account. He will work for only SQL servers. He don't touch other services. A dedicated assistant for the SQL server is called a customized service account. Is it clear now? Fine. Any issues? Yeah. Okay. So let's discuss. Okay. So let me log into the machine first. Let me check the IP address. Then I'll connect to the server remotely. Right. Okay. Fine. So this is my machine, right? Where is my machine? Yeah, this one. Okay. So let me check the IP address of this machine. How can I check the IP address of any machine? What is the command? What is the command to find the IP address of machine?
ipconfig.
Okay. So where I have to run that?
CMD.
CMD.
In
Okay.
CMD.
Open run.
Here only we can
Oh, yeah, open run. Yeah, there only we can run, but it will be easy for others. Okay. So you can type ipconfig. Okay. So you can see the IP addresses. We have to check this one, IPv4 address, not other IP addresses. Okay. 192.168.0.106. Usually, as we are connected to the public internet, your IP address range will be in 192 series. Okay. Your IP address range will be in 192 series, but usually in the organization, what series it will be?
10, 10, 10, 25.
Series,
10 series
yeah.
will be
10 series.
10
Okay.
series.
Usually in the organization, all your servers will be in 10 series range. Okay. Either 10.0.1.25, 10.0.2.15, like that. Okay. So in the organization, the servers usually we will have. Okay. Please mute. 1 minute, please. Just a minute.
Now we are connecting in a host system, sir. Windows.
Yes. 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 Okay. So let me connect to this virtual machine. 106 is my machine IP address. So I'm giving the username and password. Username already gave, right? So it took administrator. Now I'm giving the password. What I have to click here? Which option I have to choose here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you have to choose, and in this way you can log into the server, any server. Okay, right. So in the last class we just installed SQL Server, right? So up to SQL Server 20, 2014. Okay, up to SQL Server 2014, SQL Server Management Studio is inbuilt, SSMS. Okay, so what is this use of this Management Studio? Management Studio will act as a client and will help us to connect to the servers. Without Management Studio, we cannot connect to the servers. Of course, we can connect using command prompt, but it is difficult. Okay, so in order to work properly, effectively, we are going to use Management Studio. It's a user interface. Whatever we want to do, we are going to do using GUI, right? So where we are going to do these GUI actions and all in the Management Studio. Up to SQL Server 2014, Management Studio is inbuilt. While installing SQL Server, there is a shared feature called Management Tools. You have to choose that Management Tools shared feature so that Management Studio will be installed up to SQL Server 2014. From SQL Server 2016 onwards, okay, Microsoft separated this Management Studio from the software. So once the SQL Server installation has been completed, you have to again separately install the Management Studio. Means Management Studio is a client, right? Without Management Studio, we cannot connect to the servers, right? So from 2016 onwards, again, after successful installation of SQL Server, again, we have to install Management Studio. Then only we can connect to the instances or servers. Okay, so I haven't installed Management Studio. Just SQL Server installation has been completed in the last class. So now I'm going to install Management Studio. Then I'm going to connect to the existing instance that was installed in the last Friday. Clear? So how to install Management Studio? It's very easy, guys. Just click on install button. That's it. Okay, you have to click on install button so that you can install Management Studio. Okay, fine. So right. So in case you want to install Management Studio, what you have to do is you have to copy SSMS file. Okay, so this is my SSMS. So you can copy this SSMS file from your local machine to remote. Why? Because we have already configured remote server, right? You can happily copy this SSMS file to the remote server. Directly you can copy this to server. Okay, let me copy to the C drive. Okay. So I'm going to copy this Management Studio from my local machine. You can do right click copy, right click paste as the machine is connected remotely like this. If the machine is not connected remotely, you cannot directly copy paste the machine. You cannot directly copy paste the SSMS. Okay, you have to attach the SSMS ISO image. Right? Clear? Any doubts? Any issues? After installation of the SQL Server, the next thing what we have to do is we have to install Management Studio also. Right? Fine. It will take time. 2 minutes like that. It will take. You can ask if you have any questions. Right. Okay. So let it be. So once you install SQL Server, what will happen in the Windows machine? It will create a new folder. Just a minute, guys. Who joined recently? Right, okay, that's fine. Okay, so yeah. So once you install SQL Server in the machine, okay, it will create new folders. Okay, so where it is going to create new folders in the program files. Okay, it will create a folder with the name of Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so in the program files, it will create a new folder with the name of Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, just a minute. Why it is not responding? Right, okay, so SSMS is copied. Let me install SSMS first. So right click, just choose mount option. Okay, automatically it will open. Once you choose mount, automatically it will open. Right click. Okay, so once you choose mount option, automatically it will open like this. Okay, in the E drive it was opened. Again, right click, run as administrator. Okay, so this is how you have to install, okay, SSMS. Once you open Management Studio setup file, okay, then you have to simply click on install button. One button will come, install. There you can see two options, install and cancel. You have to choose install option. So there are no more controls, okay, nothing to choose, no more options to choose. Simply click on the install button. Once you click on the install button, automatically it will start installing. Okay, so it is important, guys, without having Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, okay, we cannot. 1 minute, guys, 1 minute. Go in, see some other folders are there. You can see, okay, this folder is called, actually up to this location, we are going to call instance base directory. Okay, instance base directory, C program files, Microsoft SQL Server. Under this instance base directory, we will have instance binaries. These numbering folders are there, right? These folders are called instance binaries. Okay, and you can see here the naming folder is there, right? This is called instance root directory. So by using this folder, can anyone tell me which type of instance I have installed and what version of instance I have installed in my machine?
2017.
2016. 2017.
2017.
Okay.
14 means 2000.
Someone said 2016. Why 2016? Any idea? Right. Okay. So if you see here, MS SQL 14 means it's a SQL Server 2017, right? Or 2017 14.0, 2019 15.0, right? If you see MS SQL 11 means which instance it is, which version it is?
2012.
2012. So by just looking these folder names, yeah, by just looking these folder names, you are able to identify which version of SQL Server is installed in the machine. Okay, so sometimes you can see multiple folders: MS SQL 11 dot instance name, MS SQL 13 dot instance name, MS SQL 14 dot instance name. So in that case, if you can see MS SQL 11, 13, 14, that means 3 instances installed. One is 2012, one is 2016, one is 2017. So you have to identify in that way, right? Which type of instance it is, default or named instance? Default instance. Why? Because if you see MS SQL Server, okay, you can see, you can understand MS SQL Server means you have installed